Hello, amazing, incredible, unstoppable army of light. Earth Division, boots on the ground. It's Shauna L. Francis, and today is December 22nd, 2022. This is number 90 of our Ascension daily updates, number 90. I've missed a few days, but basically 3 months straight of this. Daily updates channeling from Kryon, Melchizedek, and the Galactic Federation of Light, and some other folks, but mainly those are the big players. It's been such an incredible journey. This is such an incredible turn in my mission and what we're doing together. And I'm just honored. I have a lot to talk about today. It's going to be a long one. I did speak with two beings, and I've also spoken with Melchizedek and Kryon today. The first being was a being from an ice planet, and this being, I saw fur before he told me he was part of an ice planet, furry. The second being, I'm going to wait and we'll reveal that as the time comes. But first, I want to talk about Melchizedek and Kryon. I saw a headline about the Taliban now completely stopping girls from going to elementary school. Basically, what this means is they have completely taken away all rights for women to have any kind of an education at any age, from what I understand. So I read the article, I think it was the Wall Street Journal, and I just am thinking, is this reptilian influence? Is this negative reptilian influence? Is it dark state stuff? What is this? It just bothered me so much. And it's not just education for women that they're banning. It's like everything, the kinds of jobs they can hold. I think they can literally only be in medicine if they are going to hold any kind of a professional career. They have to be escorted wherever they go, bodies fully covered. I don't quite understand. Anyway, the Taliban, of course, we had fought against all that when we were occupying Afghanistan. We moved out, Taliban swooped in and just took over, and it's actually making things worse for women. So I asked about this. And then, of course, bringing up Iran, all the incredible protests that are happening there right now because of the woman who was killed for not covering her head correctly by the morality police. So that was September 16th. Masa Amihi, I'm probably not saying her name right, but that's also, again, I just thought, is this negative reptilian influence? What is this? What's going on in the Middle East? And such incredible, subjugation, blocking of women from all kinds of things, just really holding women down. So this has bothered me quite a bit, knowing full and well that this is all good, that these things are coming to the surface. Even the protests, all of this coming together to support women, this is happening all over the place. But I did ask, and here is what Melchizedek and Kryon had to say. So they came in together as a unit. They said, Afghanistan, such a travesty. Absolutely, this is the work of the negative reptilian influence, outpictured for everyone to see, parading it, almost in a show of defiance for everyone who is bringing the light today. This is one of these, well, look at what I can do kind of situations. The men in that area are completely controlled, mind controlled by the negative reptilians, and they gladly do this with their free will. Even though there's mind control, there's also complicity at a deep level with these singularities who are calling the shots here. So we've got two things going on: the reptilian influence and mind control, the energy manipulation, but then also complicity. They've said yes on a deep level to this, and they're just doing their bidding. So they are definitely, culpable, responsible as well. The reptilians worked very hard, they said, to weave a web of leadership, control, forms of punishment. This particular area on the planet is a good bellwether for the pulse of the reptilian agenda. Yes. And so they continued here. So yes. Oh, because I had asked, is it a good idea for me or our team here to be spending time sending light to this area? If so, what should we be doing? You know, what do they recommend in terms of us boots on the ground with this situation, if it is in fact reptilian and we can make a difference? Excuse me. So they said, yes, we would recommend that if you feel called, and if any of your team feels called, excuse me, to send and bathe that entire physical country with love, the men and the women. Pray for the leadership so that they may get a glimpse of the truth of their situation and the truth of what's happening to themselves, and that they may find their heart, and that they may come forward instead of being drowned out by the dark energies. So yes, I want to do this. Iran, they said, you are able to get just a glimpse into the situation here because of this woman's death. But this is rampant in this whole sector of the planet. The mistreatment of women, the subjugation of women, the censorship, the control, the holding back, and the blocking. Again, Shauna, they said, the reptilians understand that if they cripple the women, they cripple the planet and they control the planet. Same idea here. So they talked about this before. So they say, yes, send your love to this area, to the hearts of every man and woman who are in this situation and who are affected by this. Send love to the leadership who may not truly be in their right mind nor in their heart space as it relates to the actions that they are taking. This would be an excellent use of the Army of Light Earth Division. And you can also pray to us for help, and we'd be happy to provide services from this side of the veil. I'm so excited about this. This truly is, team, like an opportunity for us to see what we can do with our collective field in helping to bring light. So it's not about fighting or being against or any of this. This is about infusing that whole area with light. And they said, Shauna, you just arranged this and we'll show up. And I said, wow, this is great. Thank you. I said, what about the Army of Light on the other side of the veil? Is this a good use of their time and attention? They said, absolutely. So I want to do this. I want to pull together, I'm not exactly sure how we'll do it. Maybe I'm thinking Monday, the Monday after Christmas, Monday, December 26th, we'll take some time to maybe 15, 20 minutes or 30 minutes to bring and send light to that area. And I want to call in the Army of Light with all of you doing the same. I've seen some hashtags out there. You know, I don't know if it's not a whole lot of time to pull together a big group, but if, you know, several of us could get together and do this on Monday as a group or any time during Monday, but really setting the strong intention, I would love to see what that would do. And if we can do it every day next week, that would be amazing too. So I'm going to think about this a little bit more and how I want to do it and how I want to involve you. Like if it's a video, if I'm going to try to do this live, if I'm going to pre-record it like we've done before with the other meditation that we did. So let me put some thought into it. But in the meantime, feel free to do this on your own. Call in the Army of Light from the other side of the veil. Tune into our collective, send love and light to this part of the world in any way you see fit how to do that. And let's just get this ball rolling if that resonates for you. Wow, I mean, to get this kind of a confirmation that this is indeed reptilian in nature, I think it's fantastic. I'm so glad to know this, and we can work with this. We can tackle this. Okay, so I got all fired up about that. All right, so another thing I talked to Melchizedek about today was that, I'm gonna switch gears here to my other transcription. I've watched Renegade again, and that was the movie that David Icke put out here a few years ago. It was pre-COVID. Watched that again, and you know, while he doesn't talk specifically about reptilians in that movie, he completely believes that that's kind of the instigator for all the ills that are going on the planet right now. And he goes so very deep with his, what you would call conspiracies. I've asked Melchizedek if this is a good time for me to learn about what David's been talking about the last 60 years around this. 60 years? Something like that. I think in his movie, he's been at this for a long time. So they said, yes, now's a good time. I'm ready to delve into that and see what he has to say. I think it's going to help me moving forward. There's a lot of things that he said in his movie that I can relate to in terms of what might be coming for me in the way that Melchizedek and Kryon have described it. So that's the other thing I wanted to mention. So I've really steered clear of David Icke and anything that he talks about in terms of lizard people, but now I'm ready to start diving in. I'm going to get an audio book, and there's a few videos that I want to watch. So, all right. Okay, team. So our first being in the hot seat today, actually I got his name at the very end. He calls himself Gravo. All right, so I felt that tap on my shoulder, and I started seeing fur. First time I've seen fur, but you know, furry hand, like, you know, dark skin on the palm, like long whitish fur. Just like, then I started to see kind of a head and ears and a face and like big head and right down to the shoulders, like no neck. And it reminded me of like what an abominable snowman might look like. And it's supposed to snow here like any minute. It's 22 degrees outside in Portland. That's really, really cold for us. And we have snow in the forecast and then freezing rain tomorrow. So I think it's well-timed for Gravo to come through. But he was just really kind of cute, to be honest. I thought, oh my gosh, look at this being. He's so different with his long hair, grayish white hair. All right. I said, thank you so much for being here. Wherever you'd like to start is fine. If you want to talk about you, if you've got a name, whatever you'd like to talk about, I hand it over to you. And again, you know, all this excitement about coming through and being able to speak with us, right? So it's a big deal for these guys. And it's a huge deal for us, obviously. I said, Shauna, it's such a delight. I am super excited about this opportunity. I feel giddy, in fact. I said, me too. You are a very interesting looking being. I'm excited to speak with you. Thank you, Shauna. This Galactic Federation of Light, they're taking care of everything. We're all lined up. We are all prepared. We know what we are going to speak about. We also know the questions that you may ask and also the questions that your constituents may ask. We have thought of everything, Shauna, and this plan is in motion now. It's such a wonderful time, and it's here finally. And he says here, the plans are going well as expected. We are very pleased with the progress and our ability to connect with you and connect with all of you on Earth beyond the veil through this mechanism. Thank you, Shauna. I said, you're so very welcome. Thank you. Thanks for your help. And I said, thank you, GFL, for all your hard work and coordination in making this so easy for me that I can just open myself up and this information's here. So I thanked all of them. And he said, certainly, Shauna, the feeling is mutual. Thank you. Please continue whenever you're ready. Oh, I said to him, please continue whenever you're ready, because there was quite a bit of long pause there. Shauna, we're here obviously to talk about reptilians. In this particular case, it's the negative reptilians who have been wreaking havoc on Earth in this entire sector of the galaxy. We have our hands full with their ministrations. It has not been easy to anticipate their moves, to fathom the depths that they'll go to fight this ascension and fight the relinquishing of control of the planet. He says here, the super army that has been assembled is on the ready. And while it's still growing and being fine-tuned, it can be put into action at a moment's notice. I can't remember who told us about the super army back like in the 5th or 6th video that I made. He said here, we want our defenses to be impenetrable and impermeable in any situation that may arise with them. We've also considered that they may have allies that we are not aware of, secret alliances, secret handshakes, backdoor deals. So sneaker type attacks may be an issue as well. We monitor all of this from our ships. Also, many here are here just to keep a pulse on the energy and the frequencies, and will alert leadership should there be any anomalies. It's a large part of what we do here, Shauna, being on the ready in case of an offensive maneuver by the reptilians or their allies. And then there was a pause. I said, thank you. I really hope that it doesn't come to this where you've got to defend yourself and this army needs to be put into action. And he said, yes, Shauna, it's quite a lot for you to comprehend. I can imagine many of you on the planet are not aware or may not understand that there is life beyond your planet, let alone intelligent life. And then we go into all these details and all this information that goes just far beyond this. Shauna, you're making major leaps and bounds in terms of your understanding in such a short amount of time, as are many on the planet right now doing the same. All of these light bulbs coming on at the same time, causing such an illumination that is contagious and cannot be ignored. People want to know, what is this light? And they're drawn to it, and then they have their own light bulb moments. And this continues to spread and to grow with its own momentum across the entire world. This is why only one person can be so powerful. It's the domino effect, this resonance. That is the key that unlocks the doors to global transformation. And I said, yes, I can see this. Thank you. And then he kind of switched to gears here. Shauna, I am from an ice planet. We live underground, only going to the surface in short spurts. We live quite comfortably under the surface and have adapted over 1,000 generations. While this existence is very different from your own, it is quite a lovely life, full of love, full of abundance, and we do what we can to contribute to the collective missions going on. I am doing just a small temporary contract with the Galactic Federation of Light. It is not my permanent role. I am here for a relatively short while because I do have family at home and I do not plan to live on a ship away from them. However, I get to be of service in this way and to contribute, and it's something that brings me a lot of joy and a sense of success. I said, wonderful. I said, so are you on a ship now? I asked. Yes, Shauna, imagine for 7 of the Earth years, that's the approximate amount of time that I will be spending on this ship. I am 5th density. I said, oh, okay, so you are where we are going then. He says, yes, Shauna, that's correct. This is why planet Earth has drawn me in terms of a calling. The 5th dimension, the 5th density. For all of you will be such a beautiful reprieve from the dark energy. This density, the duality, such a beautiful contrast to what you've known. It will be glorious, Shauna. And another pause, and I started to feel my energy start to go a little bit deeper and start to shift. And I said, I believe that, and we look forward to it. I said, is there anything else that you want to talk about? And he said, I'll take leave now, Shauna, if there's no further questions from you. And I said, my friend, do you have a name? And he says, Gravo, you can call me Gravo. I said, thank you so much. I hope that we can speak again someday. And then my energy really just took a deep dive. So like we talked about yesterday, they want to make sure that I have time to interview at least 2 people a day to keep the ball rolling here because there's a lot of information to go through. All right, so even before Gravo left, I start feeling my energy go deeper and deeper. And how I would describe that is that almost feeling more and more into myself, disconnected from my environment, and beginning to be disconnected from my body even. So just sinking deep inward. It's the best way I can describe that. So that started happening. And I was just kind of speaking as these physical changes, the energy changes were happening. So Gravo left and the energy started to shift. And I did feel the tap, tap, tap. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Please have a seat. And I just wanted to feel into what was going on here. I started to see a white glow, and my heart started to make some palpitations. Then it kind of lifted, and I was feeling more light in my body, a little bit euphoric. Almost like, I would say 3 or 4 or 5 minutes into this, feeling almost like I would get lost in the energy, like I would just kind of lose all sense of self, lose kind of this idea that I'm even in an embodiment right now, just soaking into this energy. That makes sense. So it's just starting to feel very loving, probably 8 or 10 minutes into this by now, super high vibration. And then kind of before we started speaking, it just felt so bright white, just so bright. And I remember kind of picturing my hand coming out to try to touch this light and just losing my hand in that whiteness, just kind of blinded. I said, wow, thank you so much for joining me. What an honor. I feel you so strongly, and it's just lovely. And they said, in this really beautiful, feminine, light voice, yes, Shauna, I am one aspect of Melchizedek. Imagine that I am one of the singularities who help make up the whole of Melchizedek. I wanted to take this opportunity to join with you in this way, in this forum, to bring my own unique perspective and to support you with my own unique signature. Yeah, Melchizedek is a collective. These are really high-level beings. They're ancient. They've been around forever. I don't know what density they are, but they are a collection of many, many different beings. And there was a time here a couple months ago, I think I told you guys, where right before bed, as I was falling asleep, they cycled through with just kind of imprints of what they each look like. And they're all very diverse. I imagine a lot of them are not an embodiment. And I said, well, thank you. I just feel absolute pure love. Thank you so much for coming through. And they said, Shauna, it is my absolute pleasure and honor to be of service to you. As you can see, there are many of us who feel honored to have this opportunity to connect through our frequency, through our messages, and through love. I said, we are thrilled to be able to do this as well. And I thank you, Melchizedek, and I thank you individually. And I thank the Galactic Federation of Light, Kryon, all the guides here who have worked with me over the last 4 years to be able to get me to this point where I'm able to communicate with you at this level. I'm so humbled. And then they said, there was a time, a long time ago, where Melchizedek knew about what the reptilians were up to here on the planet. At the time before it had reached a point that it is today in such grandness, a point when it was just more of a nuisance. The situation was monitored while still allowing for free will for evolution. Much of what we do, they said, when we reach this level of consciousness, is we observe. We do not intervene in most circumstances, but we knew that the situation with the reptilians here was getting more serious, and it had turned a corner when the off-planet reptilians landed and began indoctrinating the earthbound reptilians into their ways, expanding upon their capacity for boundless control. All right, there's the turning point. Always, we must strike a balance between natural evolution, free will, even experimentation from a creation's point of view, versus the interventions that one may make to help restore balance. And he said here, some of you ask, why has it taken so long for all these highly evolved beings and collectives to come to our aid? I will tell you that, in fact, we've been here from the beginning and we have never left. Slowly, but most assuredly, it is the raising of the consciousness of humanity that has now gotten us to this point of action. For even you, all of you collectively, with your free will, must have chosen this path of ascension reconciliation, emancipation. I'll continue here. Even we as Melchizedek respect and honor free will, even at the deepest of levels. As humanity has evolved in consciousness over the millennia, as their awareness of such things has come more and more to the surface, working not only here at this plane of existence, but beyond, you have collectively made the choice that now is the time to draw this chapter to a close and to start anew, to be reborn, to create heaven on earth as you might envision it, and to restore this planet back to the sanctuary that it was always meant to be for souls on an evolutionary path. All right. And they continue here. Now that humanity has said yes as a collective, we can be in full action here. But still again, only as your guides. This is not a rescue mission. We cannot do this work for you. You must, with your free will and sovereignty, with the strength that comes from within, move yourselves forward in consciousness toward the light so that balance can finally be restored here and freedom can be known to all peoples. And they said here, now that humanity is at a point where they are able to recognize the problem, visualize the solution, and accept the help that is coming to you now, now humanity is at a point where they're able to recognize the problem, visualize the solution, and accept the help that is coming to you now. Simply wiping out the reptilians here would have created more problems than it solved. If you really think about that, that completely makes sense. Always this is about evolution. Always it is about growth, she said. And what an incredible opportunity for humanity as a whole to grow, to learn, to lift, and to be beacons for the entire cosmos. Think about this, guys. My book, I am the beacon. All of you are beacons. Together as a collective, we're a beacon here on the planet. But imagine this planet itself being a beacon in the cosmos for other planets, other peoples who also may be falling to this kind of exploitation. I never thought about that before, but what an incredible honor and an opportunity for us to be beacons in the cosmos as humanity, as Earth really joins back into the galactic theater, right? All right. And they said, look at what is possible. Look at what we are achieving together. Then you become a template, guideposts, mentors for those who may follow in your footsteps. The cosmic corrections underway right now happen from time to time. This is one of those situations, and you are fully participating in its process. It could be no other way. So congratulations to all of you, for the time is now. The reconciliation is underway, and the new earth shall become much less a figment of your imagination, but more so a gleaming light that you can see, feel, and touch for yourself. Children of earth, all of her beautiful inhabitants, take my hand. Allow me to lift you up off of your knees. Please stand next to me as an equal. Feel the rapture. Feel this power. Know us in unity. And this is Shauna, when I was visualizing this being who seems feminine to me lift me up off my knees to stand with her as an equal, I just started bawling today. That was so incredible. And just to feel that, I hope at least a fraction of that energy comes through for all of you through this video. And then I said, that is so powerful. Thank you so much. And then she said, Dear one, if you are feeling complete with this message and our time together, I will leave you now. I said, thank you. This is so beautiful. I hope we can see each other again. Okay, and that's really where we ended that. So again, really critical, foundational information about this whole situation that we find ourselves in right now. While it's not as crazy and hard-hitting as some of the other information, I think it's just as important, especially for those who are watching these videos who have really had no exposure to the reptilian agenda and the history here, the rumored history here. Okay, team, I'm going to wrap this up. So, I do expect to be back here with you again tomorrow. We'll talk about Afghanistan, Iran, and all the women of Middle East and sending love and light. Again, if you feel called to do this now, please do it. I do plan to do this. And just this prospect of using the army of light on the other side of the veil and, you know, directing them, asking for their help. I am so excited about this prospect. This is just so amazing. Okay, team, I love you. I hope everybody's doing amazing. Thanks for all your beautiful comments, all your support, all of you who have subscribed. And number 90, guys, number 90. Thanks to all of you who've watched just about every single one of my videos, these 90 videos. You are amazing, and I love you. I love each of you. Okay, team, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Mwah.